thought that we addressed our needs in this class. We've got a two-pronged attack. I think we wanted to address some immediate needs, particularly in the defensive front and linebackers in our 3-4 package. Replace the corners who have graduated. I think we've done that in our junior college ranks, and we also wanted to keep developing people for our program for 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And so we've got some developmental players. We've got some guys that obviously you guys know how I view junior college players. We've had great success with guys coming in here, James Cleveland, Tonga, Sammy Brown in the past that have been immediate impact players. And I think the guys that we've signed this year, obviously we're looking for them to do that.
Best class you've ever had?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out just like everybody else 3, 4 years from now. And I think with the junior college prospects, you guys know my philosophy. You find out right away. And the guys that we've brought in here, particularly Lloyd Allen, who played at Sammy Brown's place, and we recruited him out of there, and same type of player, but as big or bigger than Sammy Brown is right now. We'll give him an opportunity to. He says he's better than Sammy, and he's going to have every bit of a chance to be better than him, because we look for him to try to be on the other side with him.
Sure. You were able to hold on to people you wanted. Obviously, what does that say about what?
No, we weren't able to hold on to everybody, and that will never be the case. There's a bunch of folks that lost a bunch of people here in the last week. That's just the way the nature of the beast is. Recruiting has really changed over the course of the last 7, 8 years, even in the fact of early commitments. Our best chance here is to recruit guys early, get them committed, establish those relationships, and hang on. And I can't say enough. I think it says a great deal about our staff's ability to evaluate players. We don't go out and say, hey, can this guy play for Alabama? We ask if he can play for us. And in the last month, you've got basically about 3/4 of our class being recruited by the Big 12, the SEC, and the Pac-12. Is that what they call it now? So, yeah, something like that. So, we didn't go out and set out that way. I think there were many of those guys that had one offer. And some of those guys we're going to hang on to. Some of those guys we're going to lose. That's going to be the case from here on out as we start to recruit better players.
So it sounds like you're like almost making a market. If you're going after a guy that only has one offer, say for instance, and maybe it's you, maybe it's not, then a year later you got a whole bunch of folks going after him. What does that say about what you guys, as far as identifying talent?
I don't know. I don't know that's the case. I think that I think the evaluation process has been pretty good, and I think there's a reason why we've had a couple freshmen and players of the year and newcomers of the year in this league.
Coach, can you talk about your defense, and did you address your needs?
I don't know. I hope we did. And, we've signed 12 defensive players, 8 offensive players, and 2 athletes that could go either way. I think, when you're talking about addressing your needs, most people look at this is not pro football. And when you talk about D linemen, for us to go out and get a junior college nose tackle probably helps us a lot more than we think. The 2 defensive backs from junior college and the 2 linebackers from junior college, you would think that those guys are going to be immediate impact players.
Coach, can you just talk about the excitement of signing day? It's come and gone. Now it's time to get these guys in and get them into your program.
Yeah, I mean, we've got time. I mean, it's signing day. It's kind of anticlimactic now. I know that's kind of bad for you guys, but once that last one came in at 10:30, I'm pretty much done for the day. And as far as getting that done, what we got to do now is, like I talked about this afternoon, it's on to spring football. We've got 2 guys here on campus. We've got to get the guys here ready to play right now, and then the rest of these guys will be here in June.
You alluded to Allen possibly playing opposite Sammy. What would that mean for Philip Stewart? Does he stay there and compete for that job? Does he possibly move inside?
Who knows? The best players will play, and Philip may move. Philip may not move. You know, we'll see. We're going to be able to. We'll be more flexible. What does that mean to Kelvin King? What does that mean to Philip Stewart? What does that mean to anybody? You know, we're going to put our best 11 on the field.
What are you expecting to do with Cortland Akins?
I don't know. You know, he's a guy that a really talented big guy who wants to try to play defense first, and we'll see if he can do that. I think he's had played a lot of. Obviously, to me, just looking at the video, he's shown that he's an excellent athlete. There's no doubt he can be a tremendous offensive lineman. But you know, we'll see if he can play defense. That's where he wants to start, and we'll let him start there.
What about, you talk about his teammate at Lamar, Bram, coming in to try to learn from Case Keenum?
Well, you know, Bram is a guy that we targeted early. We offered early. At the time, he was the number 16 rated quarterback in the country. To put that in perspective, Philip Rivers' little brother at that time was number 18 that was committed to LSU. So amazing, after he committed to us, he became number 30 in the country. So you guys can figure that out. He didn't get any worse. Matter of fact, they won a bunch of games. We're happy with him. I think he's a tremendous talent, and he's going to come in here and compete. I think he fits in what we're doing. He's grown. He's gotten bigger and stronger, and you know, we're real happy with all three Lamar guys. You know, the local guys that committed here early. Coach Nolan talked to them about whether or not they understood what they were doing. We gave them plenty of opportunity early to figure out what they're doing, and when they said they were coming, and they stuck with it. And that says a lot. It says a lot about Coach Nolan's program. It says a lot about those kids. And as I said, you know, we want guys that want to be here, and those guys have wanted to be here since last summer.
I know you can't read people's minds, but why would a guy go from 16 to 30 because he signed with you?
I don't know. He must have got a lot worse during the year.
Is that aggravating?
No, it's not aggravating. That's part of it. That doesn't bother me.
Kind of funny?
Eh,
Kind of goofy?
the place I used to work at, they used to go from 30 to 16. How's that work?
That's the difference. Hey, Kevin, do you do as much homework as ever? Cortland told us that you knew everything about him. He was stunned. No other coach that walked in his door knew everything that you knew about
Like he was an Eagle Scout. And,
Yeah, I mean,
and
all that
all that
stuff,
kind
I
of
mean,
that's
do you-
important. You know, that's important. You know, he's particularly for. I've said this. You know that it's the guys around here within an hour. We should know more than anybody else does about them, and they ought to be over here. We ought to know a little bit about them. We ought to know the coaches. We ought to know the community. We ought to know where they're going to church, what they're doing, where they eat, what they like, what they don't like, and I think that's important. Does it work all the time? No, but I think you know, people have a sense that you care about them, and that their life matters more than just football, and in the majority of those cases, I think a lot of parents and kids appreciate that.
Talk about the importance of doing so well here in Houston. I mean, for years past, I mean, U of H didn't take Houston players a lot for a while, and you've returned to make sure that Houston players stay here.
Well, I can't comment on that. I don't know that that's the case. All I know is that's one of the reasons that I wanted to come here. Yeah, I spent the better part of 15 years dragging guys from here all over the country. So it's a whole lot easier on me and them if we all just stay here.
What do you, Bennett and Hayden, what do you see them bringing? I mean, obviously there's a need, it's a position need for you, but what specifically about, what do you like about them?
No, you know, they're good-sized guys. There's, you know, Chevy obviously has the ability to play safety and corner. Has the speed, but has the size to do that. And then DJ, obviously, I was telling somebody today, there's a reason why he had all those SEC offers, and you know, guys were trying to get him to not sign and come visit on the last week. He's a tremendously gifted player, extremely fast. You know, the quicker that he can get in the flow of the transition from junior college to just everyday life and working out and doing some, because he does a lot of things naturally. And you know, how he learns what we're doing, his ability to really be a zone guy and a man guy can really help us be multiple on defense. Both of those guys can.